One of the things I've noticed repeatedly among young software engineers, or generally speaking, people in tech struggle with is the terminal. That's why I've put together this video where you will learn 10 most commonly used terminal commands that will boost your efficiency and save you hundreds of hours in your tech career. With that said, let's dive into the first command. Alright, so I'm on my terminal right now, and the first command we're going to learn today is pwd, which stands for print working directory. This command is handy when you want to know the full path of where exactly you're located inside your terminal. So right now, I'm located at /users/arkalim/desktop. The second command we're going to learn is ls, which stands for list. So when I run this command here, it outputs just one item, and the color of this item is blue, which is telling me that this is actually a folder. So I'm just listing whatever file or folder is present in the current directory or wherever I'm present right. So over here, we just have one folder, which is by the name tutorial. I can also use ls to list what is inside this folder. So I can do ls tutorial, and that will list what are all the files that are present inside this directory tutorial. So over here, we have file 1 and file 2. So we have two files inside the tutorial directory. Now, when you run ls, it does not list all the files. It only lists the files which are not hidden. So in Linux, there are certain files that are hidden. So all the files that start with a dot are usually hidden. So if you want to list all the files, including the hidden ones, and we want to list them in a human readable format, then there's a command for that, which is ls with the options -alh. So if you run that, then we see that in the current directory, we don't just have tutorial, but we have two other hidden files as well. So we have a .localized and then we have a .ds store. So these two files are actually hidden. So that's why when we just run ls, they don't show up. Also, these two dots refer to the parent directory in which we are currently present. So the parent directory would be /users/arkalim, inside which we have the tutorials. Also, the single dot represents the current working directory, which if you remember, if we run pwd, we find /users/arkalim/desktop. So this is what is represented by this single dot, and these double dots indicate the parent directory in which we are currently present, the parent directory to the directory that we're currently present, which in this case is /users/arkalim. The next command we are going to take a look at is cd, which stands for change directory, and with this command, I can provide the name of the directory that I want to move into. So if I do an ls here, we can see that we have a tutorial directory that I can now cd into. So I can do cd tutorial, and if I run this, you can now see that we are currently no longer into desktop, but we are now in desktop/tutorial. So we have entered the tutorial folder, and if I run pwd, it's going to print /users/arkalim/desktop/tutorial, which is the complete path of wherever we are present in. With cd, you can also go back a directory. So you can go back to the parent directory by running cd space and then two dot. So now we're back in the desktop directory. So if we print, if we run the command pwd, it's going to print out /users/arkalim/desktop. The next command we're going to take a look at is mkdir, which stands for make directory. So right now, if we run ls, we can see we have a tutorial folder. Let's try to go into that folder and create another directory. So I can say cd tutorial, and before I even type it completely, if I just hit tab, it's going to complete it for me. Now I can enter tutorial, and now if I run ls, you can see we have two files here, but no directory. So let's create a new directory using the mkdir command. So I can run mkdir and let's say dir1, directory 1. So if I run that, and now if I run ls, you can see we have a blue colored item, which is a directory or a folder. And then we have the two files which are already present in this directory. The fifth command we're going to take a look at is touch. And what this command allows us to do is create empty files. So for example, if I run ls, we can see, and currently I'm present in the tutorials folder. And over here, I have another folder called dir1, and then I have two files, file1 and file2. Now let's say I want to create another file called as file3. So what I can do is I can do touch file3, and if I run this, and if I print the contents of this folder, I can see that a new file called file3 has just been created. and the contents of this file is going to be empty. So touch basically creates empty files. If I want to create multiple files, I can do the same with touch. So I can do file 4 and file 5, and it's going to create 2 files now. So if I run ls, you can see I have file 1, file 2, file 3, file 4, and file 5, and then a directory. So that was all about the touch command. It just lets you create empty file. The 6th command is rm, which stands for remove. And this command is basically used to delete files and folders. So if we do an ls here in the tutorials directory, we see we have 5 files and 1 directory. Now let's try to do something. Let's try to delete file 1. So I can do rm file 1, and if I run that, you can see file 1 got deleted. Similarly, I can delete multiple files at the same time. I can do rm file 4 file 5, and now I only have file 2 and 3 because 4 and 5 just got deleted. I can also try to create a file inside our directory dir1. So currently dir1 is empty. So if I do an ls on dir1, we see there's nothing present in the directory 1. So what we can do is we can cd into it. So we're going to change the directory into dir1, and now we can create a file using our previous command, which was touch. So now we have file 4 and file 5 present in dir1. Let's go to the parent directory, which is again tutorial. And now if we list again, we have dir1, file 2 and file 3. And inside dir1, we have file 4 and file 5. Now, when we want to remove files, let's say file 2, we can just do it directly. But then if we want to delete directories, then we need to do it recursively, because the directory could have files present inside it. So whenever we delete a directory, we also have to delete the files present inside it. And for that, we need to pass the -r flag in the rm command. So if we run rm dir1, it's not going to work. It's just going to say that it is a directory. So you cannot just delete it using the rm command. But if I pass rm-r and if I do dir1, then it works. And this -r basically says that recursively go inside this directory, find every file you can delete all those files, and then come back and delete this directory. So now if I do ls, then we no longer have the dir1 directory. So that was all about the rm command. It just allows us to delete files and folders on the Linux operating system. The 7th command we're going to learn is mv, which stands for move. But it also has another purpose, which is to rename files and folders. So let's try to see it in action. So if I just do ls right now, we only have one file, which is file 3. And let's say we want to rename this file to file 1. So what we can do is we can do mv file 3, and then we'll write file 1. And if you run that, then it just gives us a nice arrow showing that the file 3 was renamed to file 1. Now if I run ls, you can see that the file 3 has in fact been renamed to file 1. Similarly, we can also rename folders. So right now I don't have any folders present here. Let's create one using the mkdir command that we learned previously. So let's say we create a directory by the name dir1, and we want to now change the name of this directory to dir2. So we can do that as well. So we can say mv dir1 to dir2. And once again, we get this output that dir1 has been updated and it's named to dir2. So this is how you can use the mv command to rename files and folders. But the main use of mv command is to move files and folders around. So let's see that in action. So right now, if I run ls here, you can see that we have file 1 and dir2. Now let's try to move file 1 into dir2. We can do that using the mv command. So we can say mv file 1, and we can say dir2, and it will understand that we're trying to move file 1 inside the directory dir2. If we run that, then you can now see that file 1 has been renamed to dir2/file1, which basically means it's been moved inside the dir2 directory. So if I run ls now, you can see dir2, we don't have file 1 here anymore. But if I run ls on dir2, then we can see that the file 1 has been moved inside there. We can also move folders inside directories. So over here we have dir2, we don't have dir1. So let's just create another directory dir1. So now we have dir1 and dir2. So now let's try to move the directory dir1 inside dir2. So I can say mv dir1 dir2. And if I run that, you can now see that dir1 has been moved inside dir2. If I run ls here, there's no dir1, but if I run ls on dir2, then we can see we have directory 1 and file 1. The 8th command we're going to learn is cp, which stands for copy. And what this command does is it allows us to copy files and folders within the Linux operating system. So let's see how it works. So right now, if I run ls, we can see we have dir2, which is a folder. Now let's go inside dir2. So we'll do cd and dir2. And over here, we have file 1, file 4, and file 5. All right. Now let's try to make a copy of file 5 and name it as file 6. So what we can do is we can do cp file 5 and then file 6. Now if I run ls, we see we have file 5 as well as file 6. So this is not like the mv command. What mv command does is it renames the file 5 to file 6. If we had run, instead of cp, if we had run mv file 5 file 6, it would have renamed file 5 to file 6. But cp command makes a copy. So we have file 5 as well, and we now have a new file which is file 6. And the contents of these two files will be identical because we just created a copy. Another thing we can do with the cp command is we can make copies of folders. So right now we have the dir1 here. So if we run ls on dir1, there's nothing present inside. So let's try to create some file inside dir1 and we'll see how the copying works. So let's do cd dir1, and over here we don't have anything. Now let's create a file such as file 4 and 5 using touch command. So now I have file 4 and file 5 inside the dir1 folder or directory. So let's move back to the parent directory, which was dir2, and now we have dir1 and these 4 files. Now let's try to create a copy of the dir1 directory. So if we just run cp dir1, actually my bad, I didn't run it correctly. So if I run cp dir1 and then dir2, because we must provide the second argument as well, because we're trying to create a copy of something, so we need to name that copy. So if we run cp dir1 dir2, then it says that dir1 is a directory, so it cannot be copied just like that because there are contents present inside it, and so we need to run the copy command in a recursive fashion. So we can do cp-r. So this -r flag tells the copy command to work recursively, and now we can say dir1 dir2, and if we run that, then you can see that we have both dir1 and dir2. So the copy of dir1 has been created, and if we look inside dir2, then it's going to contain the exact same files that dir1 had. So if I run ls on dir1, you can see both of those have file 4 and file 5. So using cp-r, we are able to copy entire folders completely with the contents inside them. Another thing we can do with the cp or copy command is, if we look here, we have file 1, we have 4 files, and then we have 2 directories. Now let's say we want to create a copy of file 6 inside dir2 directory. So what we can do is we can run cp file 6, and now we can run dir2 / the name of the file, which would be, let's say, file 7. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a copy of file 6 by the name file 7, and I want it to be present inside the dir2 directory. Now if I run that, then you can see there's nothing new here because we made the copy inside dir2. And if I look into dir2, then we can see file 7 has been created. So using the cp command, we can also create files or directories inside other directories. The same way, we can copy files across 2 directories. So let's say if I do ls on dir2, we see we have file 4, 5, and 7. Now let's say I want to copy this file 7, but inside dir1 from here. So what I can do is I can run cp and dir2, because our file 7 is present inside dir2. So this is the source, file 7. So this is the source, dir2 / file 7, and the destination would be dir1 / file 8, let's say, because we want to rename the file from file 7 to file 8, and it has to be present inside dir1. So if I run this command now, and if I run ls dir1, we see our copy of file 7 has been created inside dir1. So this is how you can use the cp command to copy files and folders around the different directories within your Linux operating system. Are you traveling to Canada anytime soon? Getting a Canadian SIM card should be one of your top priorities upon arrival. However, finding a good phone plan can be quite challenging, especially when you're new to the country and in need of a SIM card right away. However, if you're in India and watching this video, I have a great news for you. There's an incredible service called Canadian SIM, which delivers a Canadian SIM card directly to your doorsteps no matter where you are in India. And the best part is it is completely free. With Canadian SIM, you'll have a SIM card with you before you even set foot in Canada. And that's not all. For a limited time, Canadian SIM is running a special offer with Fido, providing 50 GB of 4G or LTE data for just $35 a month, which is a remarkable deal. Additionally, there are no activation fees for this SIM, so you only need to pay your monthly bill. Rest assured, the SIM card you receive will seamlessly work with your existing cell phone, eliminating the need to upgrade your device or to commit to an expensive phone plan. Upon landing in Canada, your SIM card gets activated instantly so you can call anyone right away with unlimited Canada-wide calling. Canadian SIM is powered by Rogers and Fido, the leading network providers in Canada. I personally use their SIM and let me tell you, it's been flawless. I've had no complaints whatsoever. So why settle for less? Use the link in the description below to get your Canadian SIM delivered conveniently to your doorsteps today. Coming back to the video, the 9th command we're going to learn is cat, which basically stands for concatenate, and the use for this command is to basically print out the contents of file or to concatenate content together or like concatenate text together. So let's say right now if I run ls here, I see there's a directory and there are two files, hello.txt and there.txt. Now I have created these files myself and they have some content inside them. So let's say we want to print what's inside these files. So I can run cat hello.txt. So if I run that, you can see that this file contains the text hello world. Similarly, if I run cat there.txt, it prints out the content of there.txt, which says there you are. Now another use for the cat command is to concatenate text. So if I run cat hello.txt and there.txt, then it will print both of them at the same time. So using cat, you can combine text from multiple files as well as you can print the contents of the files. So this is very helpful when you have a file and you want to know what exactly is present inside it. You can just do a cat and the file name and it's going to print the contents of the file. And finally, the 10th command we're going to learn is echo. So echo is a command that is originally used for printing something on the terminal. So if I run echo hello world, then it's going to print out whatever I passed into the command. So right now it doesn't seem very useful, but one great use case of the echo command is to write something into a file. So right now I have hello.txt present here. If I do a cat of hello.txt, then we can see it has the content hello world. But let's say I want to put something else into this file. So I can override this file using the echo command by doing echo, and let's say whatever we want to put here. So let's say instead of hello worlds, we can say hello tutorial. Okay, so we say echo hello tutorial, and then we use this greater than symbol when we want to override something into the file. So we can say hello.txt. So if I run that, then whatever content was present inside hello.txt is going to be erased and this new content is going to be put inside that. If I run that, and now if I do cat of hello.txt, then now it says hello tutorial. So whatever was there just got completely overwritten. If I don't want to override and let's say I want to append some content at the end of this file, maybe here after this, then I can use double greater than symbol. So let's go back to the command that we typed, and let's say instead of overwriting, I want to add something else. So instead of saying tutorial, I want to say world once again, but then I want to append it at the end of this file. So I can use double greater than symbol. And now if I use the previously learned command cat to print the content of this file, I can see that now I have both the lines. So it did not overwrite, but instead it appended this new content at the end. So this is how you can use the echo command to either print something on the terminal, which is not very helpful, but you can use the echo command to overwrite something into a file or to append something at the end of the file. If you made it this far through the video, hats off to you. As a gift, I have a bonus command for you. The bonus command we're going to take a look at is grep, which is used to search for some text within files. So let's say right now over here we have hello.txt and there.txt. So if I print the contents of hello.txt, then we see we have hello tutorial and hello world. There's also there.txt. So if I run cat on that, let's see what is present here. So it says there you are. Now let's say I want to add another line of text in there.txt. So I can just use the previously learned command, which was echo, to print that. So let's say I want to print hello world, but instead of hello.txt, I want to append it in there.txt. So now if I run cat on there.txt, you see we have there you are and hello world present here. And at the same time, inside hello.txt, we have hello tutorial and hello world. Now let's say I want to find the occurrence of the word world inside any file. Let's take it as hello.txt. So what I can do is I can run grep world on hello.txt, and now it shows that yes, there is indeed a word by the name world present inside hello.txt, and it's present here. It gets highlighted in red. Similarly, I can do it on there.txt, and it shows that yes, it is present. It basically prints the entire line with the word highlighted. If I want to check for R, I can use that, or let's say the word U. So if I run this on that, you can see that it says there you are, and U gets highlighted because U is present in there.txt. Now if I want to do it on every file and folder inside this current directory, so if I do ls here, you can see we have dirt2, and then we have hello.txt, there.txt, and so on. Now let's say I want to search for the word world inside any file present within this directory. So I can do grep, and I can do -r, which again stands for recursive. So it's going to search for it in a recursive fashion. And if I run u, and then I do dot. So dot basically says that I want to refer the current directory. And if I run this, it shows that inside there.txt, there is the word u. Similarly, I can search for the word, hello, and it shows that it is present in two files, there.txt and hello.txt. So we have hello.txt twice because the word hello appears in two different lines. So we have hello tutorial and hello world. So both of these get printed. Similarly, if let's say I have hello present somewhere in dirt2, so let's say what I can do is I can just create a copy of the file hello.txt. So I can do cp hello.txt, and I want this copy to be present inside dirt2. So I can make it as again hello.txt again. So I just made a copy of this file inside the dirt2 folder. So now if I run the same command grep hello and then dot, it should also list the files that are present inside dirt2. So grep is really useful when you want to search for some word inside multiple files. So if this directory just had like 1,000 files and we want to search the occurrences of the word hello, then we can do that easily using the grep command. So the grep command can also be combined with the cat command to search for occurrences of words inside a file. So we had previously learned that we can use the cat command to print the contents of a file. So let's say we do cat hello.txt, and that prints out hello tutorial, hello world, and so on. And let's say I just add another line to this file using the echo command that we had, and now we're going to do it all small. So we do hello world, and we put it inside hello.txt, and we're going to append that because we have two greater than symbols. So if we do that now, and now if we print the contents of hello.txt, then we have hello tutorial, hello world, and then another hello world, but here with a small h. So what we can do is we can do cat hello.txt, and what this does is it prints the content of this file on onto the terminal, but instead of printing it directly, we can pass it, or we can actually, this is actually called as piping. So this is the pipe symbol, and we can pipe this to the grep command to filter out certain things, like certain words, let's say. So if I run grep and then hello, then it is going to print only the lines from this file that have the word hello in them. And this matching is actually case sensitive. So if you see, it did not print the hello world with the small h. But I can actually pass in the parameter -i, which tells it to be case insensitive. So now if I run this, it is going to print all the occurrences because it is being matched in a case insensitive fashion. So that is all about the bonus command, which is grep, which is used to search for some text within files and folders. And it can also be piped with the cat command to print the occurrences of a specific word. And if we pass the -i flag, then it allows us to do a case insensitive matching. So there you have it. It wasn't that difficult, right? You just mastered 10 + 1 terminal commands that will serve you well throughout your journey in tech. If you learned something from this video, do let the YouTube algorithm know by leaving a like. And if you feel I left out some important commands, do let me know in the comment section below. That's all for today. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you later.